make sure I give you guys all the information. So I first got a message or a video that literally had me in tears. Which was baby Kalaya crying, and you can hear Flyy screaming in the back. And Kalaya looked absolutely terrified. Hi, Auntie KK. And Toxic was on the phone, and she was like, Michaela, can I come? Are you okay with that? I will meet you. I will get you. Toxic went over and beyond to make sure Kayla knew that she was opening her door to her, that she was going to help her in any way, shape, or form that she could. That takes a strong, amazing woman. And mother. And she said it's not even about her, it's the fact that she's the mother of the brother of my child. So absolutely I'm gonna help out in any way, shape, or form that I can. Okay. Um and I like the fact that they're talking. Now I grasp too that they will talk sometimes and then not. Also remember you guys, I don't follow them. Um, so I don't see everything that they put out. I get information and then I have to dig to get like the rest of the clip, right? So Flyy has relapsed. He's on his journey. So a few concerning things. The clip that I saw that he was utilizing Kayla's medication to help him through his addiction or his withdrawal. Sorry. That's extremely concerning. If you're having to utilize anything to get you through that, let me not say anything. If you're having to utilize another prescription medication to get you through that's not prescribed to you, then you need to go in and you need to get help. You need to seek that help in a controlled environment so they can figure out what medications are going to work for you, what dosage is going to work for you, etc. He said that he didn't need them because she didn't need them because she wasn't taking them, and that was what was going to help him. I think that there's the multiple stories. Eh, I can do it at home because it's not that bad this time because it's over. And then 2 days later, it's really bad. I need to take that medication again because you need to go into a controlled environment. So I think that his moods and swings are all over the place to where being around, trying to detox that and be around Kayla and the kids is probably not in the best place for him. He needs to be focused on him and himself and getting the treatment that he needs. Um, yeah, there was a lot of clips. It's, um, I try not to take just the clips because again, a lot of times they can be reached, you know, they can come out of context. But excuse me, I don't know if he has a sponsor because these are individuals that I speak to. Um, yeah, um, Toxic did absolutely everything, in my opinion, from what I saw. She did absolutely everything in her power to make it very easy for them. My home is open to you. I will meet you. Um, whatever you need. Don't stay in a situation to where you're going to continue to be the dumping bag. You know, I've been there, done that. I know exactly what you're going through. And again, I think that takes a special type of person to do that. A lot of, you know, baby mothers of the first children would not do that. And I think that speaks volume on her character, on who she is, on the mother that she is. I think that was amazing. It's easy for me to say I wish that she would have taken Kayla up on the opportunity, you know. So, Mama Jean, I haven't seen everything because I've been at work all day, so I don't know that she's bashing her, but I also think too, so nobody is going to know better than this situation of Flying Kayla than Toxic, because Toxic was there first, right? Toxic also lived through all of this situation, so she knows what they're going through. And sometimes when you know someone who's going through that and you offer the help and they don't want to get out, sometimes you have to put a wall up to protect yourself. And again, now it's not just Kayla now, it's baby Alex, right? Do you guys remember the video of when Toxic got the video of Kalaya meeting Alex for the first time? The way she cried and her heart just broke. It's like not broke in a bad way, but in a good way. She's like, this is the most beautiful thing. Like seeing them together, you know? So I think her reaction is valid. 100% I think it's valid. She's putting that wall up. Because you can only help so many times. How many times can you tell somebody, okay, okay, I'll be there. Oh, they go back. Okay, well, the next time, okay, okay, I'll be there, and constantly put yourself out there. No, I think building a wall to protect her and Kalaya is justified, especially after seeing that video of Kalaya. Again, that takes a strong person. I don't know that I could have done that. Seeing Kalaya scared and terrified like that, and you could hear the fear in Toxic's voice. Send me your pin, send me your pin. Let me come. I will come and get her. I will get you guys. I will get Alec, you know. Um, yeah, the whole thing is just is scary to me. And then today, Fly and Alex, or sorry, Fly and Kayla are acting like "Hmm, it's all it's all okay. That was just a minor disagreement, a minor whatever. That wasn't minor. First of all, if that's minor to you guys, that's concerning, right? Um, the childhood drama. And again, we have to think, you guys, also, baby Alex. People will do whatever they can do. Like they love to be able to get in. I saw in the live replay back the way CPS was tagged in their comments. People are just looking for a reason. You're handing it to them on a silver platter. Put the phones down. I will say, I wonder if some of Fly's reaction was the fact that Kayla was drinking. Now, because you chose like to relapse, then you chose to get clean. Hats off to you. We like that. We appreciate that. We want that for you. But then you can't then bash on her because there's not, she's not utilizing the medication, whatever, and she chooses to have a couple of drinks or whatever the case may be. You can't bash on her. But I think for him, that may have been too easy. That may have been a trigger. I don't know. But again, should be off the internet. Cutting off, taking the car, telling him to get out after stating she had been drinking, cutting off the electricity and cutting off the Wi-Fi, those are not those are not acceptable. Those are not acceptable. Yeah, I think flower power, I think in multiple ways, financially, right? When she and I guess I never thought about it because I'm not in this couple's relationship, right? I don't know what's going on. But when she stated it, it made sense. I'm like, she's like, everything is flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla. On every count is flying Kayla. What about Kayla? Right? What about Kayla? Because all that money flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla goes to Fly. What about Kayla? Yeah, KT, I think that's a valid point. I think a lot of people are very, very concerned. Wait, Kayla Trade wanted it like that though. That was her doing. Ollie, I'm not sure what you're referring to, love. Yeah, Flora, I think I think that's in a sense, a common response in a lot of DV situations, with the clients that I work with that have gone through some of the most severe DV. It is really bad. It's trauma, 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 trauma. And then boom, it's that trauma makeup and it's that love bombing and everything is perfect and peachy keen and roses. But statistics will tell you the next one is going to be worse than the last one. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a show. It's the fact that they put it on the internet. So many people don't, but they're going through it behind closed doors. They just don't put it on the internet. My biggest fear is it's going to affect baby Alex in many different ways. When Kayla tested him, he didn't tested Alex. He didn't know, or Flyy, he didn't know 5 of the 6 medications. Kayla clearly is the one doing all of the things that she needs to do for the child. The going into the room in the middle of the night and waking her up so she can't get sleep, those are things that are not okay. Then he did it to her parents, going in and dancing to her snoring. That's weird. That would have not ended well in my household. Um, Megan, I agree. I agree. A lot of the things that Flyy does is for show, and Flyy needs to step away. I think not only with his addiction to whatever substance it is he's using, he has an addiction to social media. He has an addiction to the adrenaline, the whatnot that he gets off of people knowing him and being out in the community, people know, when they press back to back. So he needs to, I think he needs to deal with that addiction as well. Ultimately our whole goal um is that they're all healthy, right? But a lot of things have to be kept off the internet. And it's like when they have good times, those ones we don't really see on the internet. We know that they have them, but they don't really come on the internet. But boy, I tell you, they get in a fight, they are quick, both of them, quick to have that phone up. Yeah, they need to address all of the issues at one time, go through absolutely everything. But Flyy and Kayla made fun of Pat for going into rehab or so. Yeah, well, they may make fun of it because not realizing, or they probably realize that they need it as well, because he definitely does. Yep, he needs to definitely detox from social media and um, set up boundaries. I grasp that this is a lot of people's jobs and source of income, right? But with every job that we have, whether we like it or not, um, we only do it during certain hours, right? So they need to set certain hours. And the fact that he said that he had to start, that he relapsed to be able to do TikTok. Thank you guys so much for the daily heart me's. You guys are amazing. 13,000 likes already. My light always covers it, so I never get to see. And 409 daily heart me's. Thank you guys so much. Um, it's crazy. You can't just sit on live. And then he goes from one live to a different live to a different live, right? So he goes from TikTok live to Snapchat and then on some gaming stream. So he is live all of the time. There's zero privacy. And you can tell that Kayla, like in a lot of the times when he's going over the medical stuff for his child, she's usually in the back and she's like giving a look like, stop. Well, first of all, he doesn't necessarily get the names right or say what it is, it is that he has, or she doesn't want him to, whatever the case may be. Um, I just think that he needs to get serious help. I'm sure he could be a very good dad and hands-on dad, um, if he got the help that he needed. But it's imperative he does that. Toxic Bean said she has to drink to get on TikTok. I think for a lot of people, I think maybe that would be possible. I've never toxic for some toxic's just one that just never comes up on my FYP, and I typically don't search people. The few times that I have where I've been sent clips, I mean, I don't know if she's in because I don't know her, across the board or no. I just know last night thank you, Jessica. Last night, I just think she was really amazing what she did last night. And you could tell she was worried and stressed about everything that was going on. And she's the one that brought it up. what happened a couple weeks ago when Kalai was there, and a lot of people were mad at her about that. But mad for what? Sometimes, thank you, Leanne. Sometimes people have to be reminded in order to get them to open their eyes as to what all they've been through. Not just this situation, there's been more. You now have a child that you have to deal with. You know, I don't know. The whole situation to me is very sad. And Chelsea, which one? Because there's been a lot, love. Mm, well, Julie, it's hard to say because again, I don't work in Florida. I don't have any really experience with Florida CPS. First of all, I don't work for CPS and never have worked for CPS. We do get to know their rules and whatnot because of the work that we do that's very closely related to them. Um, it could be a few different things, right? It could be as little as, I wouldn't say little, but it could be if everything checks out with her, she passes her rug test and everything, and the baby's in good care with her, and the doctor's saying the baby's doing fine. It could be that they require her to move out or him to move out for basically for them to live separately. And if you don't, because in most states, again, I don't know if Florida is one of them, but in most states, if you stay in a DV situation, that is considered um, child AB, right? That is a ground to have a child removed from your home. In some states, I don't know what all states, I know my state is one of them. So that could be an issue. Obviously, if she tests positive for anything, that would be an issue. Um, but yeah, I think the baby does fine with Kayla. I think that there's just that they have. I think Flyy and Kayla maybe have a trauma bond. And I think a lot of Kayla's reaction is reactive abuse. Can only put up with so much. And it's like, it seems like it's okay when he does it, but then she does it, and it's suddenly not okay, you know? Yeah. If they refuse the rug test, that could be a whole nother issue all on its own. Absolutely. They can get a court ordered one to require them to take one. But yeah, that's gonna be a whole nother issue. Like, again, I don't work for CBS, but um, I have worked in a situation where I've needed to do rug testing, and whenever my clients don't want to do it, I'm like, what are you gonna test positive for? Just tell me now, because if I know now, it's one thing. And sometimes they don't always know, especially if they're younger, they don't know. They'll be like, man, I did this, but it was like a month ago, and da 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 da. And so they're afraid that it's going to pop up again. But it will pop up still, but it's going to be a much less lower dose or test level than what it was when we tested it a month ago. So I can't even tell you the comments. I'm trying to say it was a clip of the. Oh, yeah, I've seen all of the clips of the arguments. I had to stop watching it last night. For me, it was very triggering. It was a very sad. Again, going back to turning off the electricity and the Wi-Fi. That's a next level of controlling abuse. Trying to force her to drive when you just acknowledged that she had several drinks of wine. Why would you do that? Why would you want her to get into a car? You know? Yeah, all of the behavior is concerning. I think a lot of people thought that I was just gonna come on and just be like, "Oh, it's okay because they did it." No, absolutely not. You do something wrong, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna tell you about it. Um, yeah, that's just how it is. Again, I don't know any of these people, you guys. I come on originally and I did a story of them because I was asked to do a breakdown story of them. I did it. And then from then I would, do updates and whatnot. But I will call absolutely anybody on that crap. You guys think I'm hard on some people? You should see how I am with my kids if they mess up. Let them know about themselves. But it's all out of love. I just want them to be better. Yeah, well, I think wait, how do I say that? Is it Cara May? Is that your name? Is that, did I say it right? That is beautiful. Cara May. Anyways, um I think for any child, right? Any child who has any type of medical issues going on that are bad. If you were in a position to hire either a nanny or a night nurse or day nurse or a nurse, even for just a few hours during the day, I highly recommend to do it. Having a medically complicated child is so absolutely draining, worth it, but it is very, very draining and toxic. Not toxic, but takes a hold on your body. And having a break is so essential, right? He's not going to be going to daycare or whatever for a very long period of time. Like the rest of us have babies, we go back to work at this point. So we would have, they'd be in daycare or have a nanny anyways. I think it's extremely important. I always think that taking solo trips or having nights out at least once a month away from your kids and just being able to fully let go. I think all of those things are important because we need to have those. I always call them mommy reset buttons. Just you have to go and have fun and relax. It makes you a better person. So I think it's absolutely essential. Even if there was no relapse or whatever, I think that's something that is extremely essential, especially with his immune system, I'm assuming would be low with, we don't know what's going on, but I wouldn't want to take him out and running a bunch of errands or doing what it is I do. But I think that they need to have those few hours to themselves. I agree, Christina. Yeah, and I grasp in a sense why he doesn't want to go into a treatment facility. I've had a lot of clients tell me that the treatment facility facility. Oh my God, my brain's like shutting you off. Treatment facilities can be tough depending on where you go. One was like, I found better when I was in treatment than when I went in. I went in for smoking a little, doing a little broccoli and having a couple drinks, and then I found F while I was in there. That was a whole nother level of fun. I'm like, no, that's not why we sent you there. But I think that for him, again, I truly, truly, truly believe, you guys, that social media is a big part of it. I grasp in the more money he's Fly to me, again, I don't know him, but Fly to me seems very money driven. I think he came from a really rough life where he didn't always have everything. He came into money really, really, really fast, right? I think he's terrified to not have it again or not be able to maintain his lifestyle. A lot of people counted them out young. I was one of them. Absolutely was. Um, yeah, addicted to money, to all of it. You can be addicted to absolutely. If this motherfucker asks me one more time, I'm gonna be addicted to denying his ass. I hate those battle requests, man. I think then that there needs to be very strict boundaries set up. And their child's medical information should be completely kept off. Now, some people will say, well, that's complete opposite of what you said before. It's not. What I said before was they were getting bashed by posting content and videos and pictures. This motherfucker of them at the NICU, and they're like, "Oh my God, why would they do that? Why would you post your baby in that situation?" Blah blah blah. Right? I said, "Why? Because the child has some medical issues. Why should they then not get to post the video? Let's say like." Listen, Enzo, whatever. They had a normal delivery, normal birth, whatever. No one was bashing them because they were posting videos and pictures. Let them have that time where they still get to bond. Now, do I think right now what's happening is good? No, because now they're at every doctor's appointment, and it's say it again, say it again, say it again. What did you say? What do we need to go today? Why do we need to go? Can we wait till tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? That's that baiting information to get information, views, 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 money. Now you're putting Now you're putting, in a sense, you're putting the child where it's for monetary gain. I'm not sure if he realizes that there's definitely a difference or not, and he may, but that goes back to the addiction of the social media, of the money, whatnot, right? Um, so yeah, I think, yeah, flower power. I think she did. Well, I think, to be honest, I think a lot of us women do. A lot of us women think that our relationships are bad, and also we get pregnant. We're like, oh my God, this is gonna perfectly change. It doesn't. And Fly said something very interesting. Um, in the last couple of days, he said, gosh, how did he word it? He said, women always change when they have a baby. Kayla promised me that she wouldn't, but I already had a baby, and my baby's mom changed, and so I just knew it was going to happen. They were going to happen. They always change. Fly. Just me and you here, buddy. If you have a baby by a woman and a woman doesn't change after she has a baby, be concerned. Because then you did not have a baby by a woman. A woman should change. A man should change after you have a baby. If your baby, if you have a baby and your life does not change at all, be concerned. Okay. But I think for men, what men think when they say that is the woman no longer is providing all of that attention towards them. That attention is separated. And I didn't know back then, even though I'd been a social worker at this point for several years. I was still new in my career. I think it was about 3 years in. But still, looking back now, I'm like, what the toxic bullshit did I allow this man to do? Right? Um, my third child was born very early. She did not know how to nurse or even suckle. So she was fed originally by, obviously, by the tubes, and then by a syringe. And then we tried to bottle. She couldn't latch. The only way she could eat, Ashley, congratulations, you reached level 5, love. The only way she could eat was by breastfeeding. And she was my one child that was strictly breastfed. That's it. That's the only way she could eat, was breastfed. We would try to, as she got a little bit older, we would try to give the bottle. She wouldn't have it. Well, it was like, I think she was like 6 or 8 months, and I remember my husband at the time, um, being like, "No, you're not doing that anymore. Absolutely not. Nope. Those are mine. So you're gonna take a bottle." And now, granted, I was kind of ready to be done feeding as well, but as long as my baby needed me, and that was the only way she was gonna get milk, then I was gonna feed her. And he started taking her into the room at nighttime and feeding her a bottle, and she would fuss. He did get her bottle to work, and she never went hungry. But looking back, that is very toxic. You didn't want to share, and it's something totally different. There's nothing, schmexual involved in that entire situation, but it bothered him. It affected him. It was taking time from him, he thought. And that is a very toxic, um, controlling behavior that's not okay and or acceptable. So I don't know. I'm going to get a ton of hate, but I don't think Kayla is. Well, I don't think anything. I mean, I don't think anybody is innocent at all. No, and again, you guys, my channel is not for hate, ever. This is a safe flat. This is a safe platform. Can you imagine if we had, what do we have? 269 people in here. If all 269 people absolutely agreed on absolutely everything, this channel would be pretty dang boring, right? I like us to have conversations of us having differences of opinion. I just want our conversations to be respectful. That's all. I just will never host a platform. People like, there's motherfucker. Ooh, thank you, love. Queen of Cheese. I love the Queen of Cheese. Um, I was wondering that too. Now, again, I've never used FO. Obviously, you don't know we want to see this grandma getting down with the get down, but I'm just saying. Um, I don't know. I do know that you can. I have heard of it before. I just don't. I'm like, good God, what on earth do you have to do over there to get banned? I know, I'm telling you guys, them stupid cherry blossoms. I go through this every year when the cherry blossoms come out. Because mind you, like I said, my entire building is surrounded. They're literally every few feet. My whole building that takes blocks and blocks and blocks of book is surrounded. And I have one outside. I didn't sleep good last night, but my eyes were literally almost swollen shut. But I got some Benadryl, not Benadryl, but allergy eye drops. I could open my eyes. I came home. I slept from 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. I'm like, shit, my ass about to be up all night. Fly got angry at Kayla for sharing pics of both the babies of toxic. Well, I think he got my opinion. I think he got mad because he didn't want people to see what was really going on. Wait, I don't know what you're trying to say, Carme. So, wait, what? Incest? What do you mean? Oh, I care about, want him to have everything he deserves. Agree. Touch, yeah, I want him to have absolutely everything. Ooh, I wonder if that would work. So this is the thing, Helena, this is how when I know it's allergies, is because it's not just like my eyes itself, but it's really like the base of like the rim around my eyes, like where my eyelashes are. Those ones will swell and they'll be just bright red and they burn and they itch so bad. And obviously the Visine doesn't do anything. You can't really put cream there because it's like right by your eyes. I bet you that would help. Let me screenshot that. I just want some relief. Wait, I'm so confused on what's happening. Oh, because of the. I feel like if that was the case, that would have been banned a long time ago, right? And was that on Kayla's? I don't know. Hey, listen, I don't even want to go back and think about it. But they have. Okay, so. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, if it was only. Okay, never mind. Let's change the subject. God forbid, I don't want no one to come and be like, oh no, it was this. I don't want to know. I don't care. Not interested. TMI, FBI, trigger warning, all of the warnings, allegedly, all of that. I don't want to know. Yeah, that happened a long time ago, but either way, I don't want to know. I think Clyde tested toxic. I can 100% well, I can 100% agree with that. I don't know that it happened, but I 100% would agree to that. No, I came on late because I fell asleep afterward. And now that I can see out of my eyes, I couldn't even see earlier. They were so bad. Chris is crazy couponing because his little group of gifters. Yeah, did you guys notice too? And I've always been very honest with this as well. I'm really like an open book, to you guys. Um, I'm glad you're here too. So acting like this girl is innocent. Did you hear that? First of all, Dina, who are you talking to? And like, what girl is innocent? And who's acting like absolutely anybody is innocent in this situation? And what whole thread? You put a lot in that little tiny statement that you'll have to break down. Um, Congratulations, you guys completed stage 2 of the team quest. Your team has unlocked all of the team members to send and celebrate. Congratulations. It was Kayla texting. And it could be, I don't know. Wait, I wasn't there. Someone said that it could have been Alex. It could have been. I don't know. I absolutely don't know. I also know that when they go through these arguments and then they say everything is okay, that Kayla will then flop over and support Alex, is what I'm saying. Yeah, no one is saying they're innocent. You guys can't always just assume because you hear part of a situation. There you go. Exactly. Damage go. That a part of a situation that everyone's just so supportive of them. I think a lot of people have this picture of me that I'm just Alex and or Flyy and Kayla do absolutely everything correct, and I just will stand them and I'll be behind their back 100% of the way, no matter what it is. I ride, ride at dawn for them. I don't know them. My job at what I do is I work with young adults and I help them to encourage them to get the help that they need to open their eyes to other different things. So if I have an opportunity to where anybody, I don't care who they are, whether they have notoriety or not, if they're willing to open their ears and their hearts and their heads and listen and take some advice from somebody or me to give them opinion on things that they're doing and what could be done differently, I'm going to take it. That doesn't mean that I just think that everything they do is wrong. No, that what that means is if you've opened up to me and you've let me come in and talk to you and give you some advice, thank you, Beth. Um, that means when you do wrong, I'm going to be even harder on you, right? Because I want you to be successful. And again, I'm always 100% of the time I am pro child. What the hell is this? What's happening? I hate this TikTok thing. They know I am absolutely technology savvy and they just pop shit up. They'll pop shit up on the top saying give people a sub something and then they put puzzles up and now this big thing popped up want me to do a community thing. I don't know. Not, I said a DB situation for 16 years. I laughed. Absolutely. If I was the same way, I was the same way. You couldn't tell me nothing. Yes, thank you. Congratulations, level 9. Hi, Glitter Queen. I saw last night, but it's still tricky. Yeah, Proud Nana. I had to put the phone down myself because it was really, really hard. That video of Kalaya really, really got me. And then hearing Toxic scream on the other side wanting to get her baby. That fear in her voice was a fear I knew too well. And that was very triggering. Um, are you going to post a video on your page? Yes, I actually already have one filmed. I'm gonna post it as soon as we get off of live. Yep, I already have one filmed. Yeah, Mackenzie, 100%. And again, it was something that I don't pick up on because again, I don't follow them like that. I'm not in their pocketbook, so I don't know. But when Kayla said this, and I know I said earlier, but when Kayla said this last night, I was like, financial abuse, right? She's like, I'm broke. I don't have any money because everything's in flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla, flying Kayla. And guess where that money goes? To Flyy. I don't have it. I want something for my own, and she should. All of her channels should be hers. The Flying Kayla channels should be split 50-50. Whenever that money comes in, 50 should go into her bank account, or even let's say 25, 25, 50, right? 25 goes into her personal account, 25 goes into his personal account, and 50% goes into the household account to pay their bills. That eliminates that. But this goes back to now people know why at 4 o'clock in the morning he's out hanging out at a gas station. I'm like, what the hell would you have to do out at a gas station at 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning? You don't need gas at 4 o'clock in the morning, especially since you didn't fill up because you had to fill up the next day to take the baby to the doctor's appointment. Kayla got minimum 10K views on her account. Yeah, Mackenzie, that's tough. Oh yeah, absolutely, Mom. Yeah, that would be the absolute best solution to completely separate things. So you guys, I'm not real good on the Snapchat. Now I hear that's where money is being made right now. Snapchat is spending money because they are trying to revamp what they once were, right? So they are dropping money into the big name creators that are coming over there. So I know they have a Fly and Kayla page. Do they have a Fly page and then do they have a Kayla page, or is their only page Fly and Kayla? Just his. Okay, that's yeah. Kermit. But I'm like, you have to post 20 times a day. I can't think of 20 things I do in a day. I mean, not like I'm a big creator, but you know what I'm saying? Like, say I did, say I had, what are 20 things I would do in a day that any of y'all would be interested in? I live the most boring life. The most excitement I have in my life is when I come hang out with all of my besties over here. Like, what? I don't understand. 20 things a day is what they said they have to post. I mean, for 100K a month, I could probably come up with 20 things. Playing Kayla, only break up for good if like potentially flower power. Now, in the past, I would have 100% agreed with you. Now that she has a child, women find an inner strength to where that may change. I don't know. I don't know. So that'll be a story to tell. Right, Florida T? Can you imagine? I'd take 100K a year and I'd be good. Ooh, yeah. So if I do five a month, can I have 100K in a year? I'd be fine. But yeah, I was in a relationship one time that was absolutely not a positive relationship at all. And I don't know why I stuck, because I've never been that type of person, but I stuck. Um, man, thank you so much for subscribing. And um, magentas, I have not, because of the reasons I had told you. But I have asked many, many members to do it and get back to me. I have found out now why that is so triggering to me, because it's I hate even talking about this nighttime. Um, it is a close very, very, very similar to a case that I worked in, and the child did not survive. And so, remember I told you from the first time you asked me to look in, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I cannot. I'm like triggered, like anxiety triggered the minute I go on. So, at least once a week, when in one of my lives, I ask other people, can you guys please go in and look into this little, like, send me any information, or write up something information, because I want to dig into them. But it's affecting me, it's affecting me to do it because it's terrible. I want to look into it. Um, just so sad. The baby is probably used to the, yeah, that's the sad thing, guys. When you guys ever see a child who there's a lot of yelling or screaming or whatnot going around and they're not phased at all, they're just doing their normal activity, that is the number one sign. That's the first sign that you're most likely going to see that they're in a very toxic, abusive household. That's the norm for them, you know? And I don't think he's quite at that age because he's so young. Um, but yeah, it's sad. And again, they have that added attention of him having, going through he's medically complicated, as we call them. Um, and for her to not get the help, like the other night, well, I guess it was about a week ago, when she was like, I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. And he kept coming in the room. That's another form of a different type of abuse, to where now she's sleep deprived, you know, and he doesn't have that. And he's on something, I guess, that keeps him up, or I don't know what it does. Um, I just want them to get the help that they need. That's what I want. Last night that he sleeps through the yelling. Again, I think because he's so young, I think that's normal. My grandkids would sleep through a hurricane, a tornado, anything, and there was no DV there. But as they get a little bit older, like I saw a 5-year-old one time sitting on the floor, and two adults started legit fighting over him, and that kid didn't move, didn't even flinch, just playing with his toy, and they are legit screaming so loud, and fists are thrown, and that kid did not flinch. I was like, oh, he's out. No, he's not okay. Like, I feel like getting still. Oh, 100% random. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that it can't affect them at any way. It 100% can. What I'm saying is when we're using that as a gauge, right, of two people, adults yelling, screaming, whatnot, and the kids not flinching, we don't typically guide that from that young of an age, especially with a medically complicated child that sleeps a lot, right? Now, a year, two, three up, then absolutely. I'm not saying it can't affect him. I'm just saying I wouldn't use the sleeping through age. Babies tend to sleep through anything. Right, Mackenzie? Right? Last night he sleeps through yelling. Minus 12. Oh, Bebe, that's okay, because my tongue and my brain are not connected the same right now. I'm thinking one thing and something else is coming out. User, why are you asking if I'm on Fly side? Did you just let me ask this. Did you just join the live? You just joined? Okay. Well, since you just joined, I will I will repeat for you. Oh, we gotta do a puzzle first. Okay. So I will say this. I'm never on anybody's side. I am always pro child. Okay? Always. I don't know Fly. I don't know Kayla. I don't know Toxic. I don't know absolutely any of them. When somebody gives me an opportunity to speak with them and communicate with them, and possibly give them a chance to open their eyes and see something different, I will always take that opportunity. But it also means that when you do bad, I'm going to come down 10 times harder, right? So I'm not pro anybody. What Fly did is 100% wrong, and he needs to handle and take responsibility of those actions. 100%. Um, I don't think him detoxing in his home is going to be beneficial for him at all, especially now that he's admitted to utilizing Kayla's medication to help deal with that. He's not put himself in a position to be successful in, you know, being able to come out of this alone. I have no idea how old they are, guys, because we've literally had like three, four conversations. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I think people think because I've come on and I've given them a few conversations that we're besties, we're hanging out after, we're talking off the app or whatever. That's not the case at all. Anybody can come on this app and ask me for, my opinions on something, and I 100% will give it and help in any way, shape, or form, any way that I can. But somehow I've got into this whole thing that I'm just so pro Keelan and against toxic, which is not that I've never been against toxic. I think in this entire situation, toxic is gets the biggest praise of all. What she did was that takes a real woman, a strong woman, to be able to do that. You heard that fear in her voice when she was trying to get to her daughter, when her daughter called and she's screaming, and she hears all that yelling in the background. And opening her home to Kayla and baby Alex is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Beth. What's crazy is that's one thing that I never expect when I started doing this. Do you really think CPS really said all is well? Has no, I didn't hear that. Potentially, I could see them saying that. Potentially, yeah. Again, I always feel like I'm putting myself in a shitty, sticky situation. I don't know everything that is going on in that home. Okay, CPS is not always on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Some social workers, you know what I'm saying, can be driven. So let's pretend that you're a social worker, right? You work for CPS. We're going to walk this through. This is all allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying that I've seen. Well, bless you, sir. I just had to make sure he was on his bed sneezing and not mine. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I have not seen this happen myself. I'm just saying I could see this being a possibility. Okay. So let's say you are somebody that is known and you got a little bit of money, right? And you got people calling and CPS shows up to do an investigation. They show up to this big house, right? And they figure out what's going on, blah 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 blah. And somebody says, "Here you go, dap you up. You get some." And then guess what happens? All the CPS investigator, right? Let's just pretend it's me. I do not work for CPS, never have. Let's pretend it's me. I report, did house visit, house was clean, child had proper bedding, child had food in their home, blah 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 blah. Case closed. Nobody else goes out and does another investigation. It is all on the person that showed up. Social workers are not paid a whole lot of money. So if you're a social worker and you show up to someone that's considered a wealthy person and they plop $5,000 in your hand to say case closed, you're telling me that no social workers are ever going to do that? I'm just saying. 100% flirty. Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are. Again, another reason why cases get closed because you got to look at the severity, right? If you have so let's take it back to when I worked for the state. Again, I worked for a different state. I think people assume that I worked for CPS because I worked for the state. But working for DSHS for the state is a huge whole umbrella. CPS is under that umbrella. I didn't work under that part of the umbrella. I was under this part of the umbrella. Okay. But at one point, I had 970 something cases. Just me. Just me. 970 cases. Or, yeah, cases in my caseload. Okay. Some of them are not getting all the attention that they need. And again, if you can close them out, you close them out. You try to make your caseload as manageable as can be. So again, when you go in, even if there's no money exchange, right? You go in to the house and you say, okay, beautiful house. Do you think that they're acting like they're acting on live when they show up? No. They would be huggy duggy and the baby's doing good. We're doing this. This is his, I mean, Kayla is on point with the baby's medical records, right? So to show that, that shows that she's, fully competent and capable of taking care of all the medical needs, yada yada yada. So that's a whole deep dive all down in itself. What's happening here? TikTok Live is crazy. It keeps popping up. Or for the state with let's say offenders in our case where yeah, it is tough. Were they is it Ninja Mix? Um Was the work that you did for SAFNs, was that considered community protection or was that something totally different? Because I did 3 years in community protection. I mean, I wasn't in community protection, but I supervised over a caseload while in community protection that were all either SA or um, so I was curious. I can't Hutch. It's one of two things. It's either way, way worse or it's perfectly fine. Because I do believe that a lot of things that they do are for drama. Oh, probation. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I worked with them out in the community. So whenever they had to go out, it had to be 24-hour eye to eye supervision. So when they were out of the house and they had to go somewhere, I would go with them because that somebody thought that was a great idea. Let's send the 5 foot, 112-pound girl. Let's go send them out with a bunch of like I was going to be able to do anything or stop anything. Now, granted, I'm strict with my rules, and so they knew not to cross me. But Flower Power, I've been thinking about that lately, that dynamic, because he seems to pull him in and push him out. And I'm wondering why, and I'm wondering if when he starts using, if that's not when he pushes him out because he doesn't want people to know. And then Red came out with it, I guess, a while ago that said he did. I think he showed text or something somebody showed me. I have a hard time watching Red. Fly not as much. Fly doesn't trigger me like Red does, but Red reminds me a lot of my older brother who was a bad user for since he was as young as I remember, like 12, 13, like really bad. And a lot of things Red does triggers me with my brother. Right, they exactly authentic. They have so much childhood trauma, but guess where they're putting it on? Fly's kids. Fly's kids are going to grow up with that childhood trauma. Kalaya should never have to witness what she witnessed the other day. She should not have to witness that. Never. And I'm not saying everything is peachy and keen or mom's house. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. She's just not one for some reason that doesn't pop up. What I have seen of her, I don't really have any complaints. I think the only thing that I ever said about her is about the schedule, and I only said that because she said that she wanted to work on her sleeping schedule. Yeah. Yeah, Blue Eyes Baby. That was the first time when she said that yesterday. I really felt yesterday was a lot of truth for Kayla. Um, to say she's hurting when she doesn't have money. Because everything is in Fly and Kayla, Fly and Kayla, Fly and Kayla. Well, that goes to Fly. There's no Kayla. They need to have somebody managing their money. Ends with us. No. Oh, did I get it? Hold on. Let me make sure. Where'd it go? I'll have to look that up and see. This if anything happens with toxic, she don't put it on. Exactly. Exactly. Toxic is quick to take it offline, which is what she should do. Because remember, you guys, the internet is forever. So when Kalaya, baby Alex grow up, they're going to witness this. And it makes me sad. Absolutely flower power. Yep. And that baby's not sleeping 24/7. And even now, I mean, I can't imagine. Thank you, Georgie. I can't imagine getting good sleep when you're constantly concerned, making sure his blood pressure's okay, his breathing's okay, all of this stuff. When Kayla's reaching out and asking, I just need sleep. Just please let me sleep. Oh, absolutely. You guys know as good as me. You guys probably know better than me what's going on with him. I have no idea. Yeah, because again, he's very money driven, attention driven. He wants all of the attention. He wants the money, right? I think that he needs to get diagnosed like with his mental health, his rug addiction, his social media addiction. He needs to deal with all of that. I think that they could be he's multi-diagnosed. Like, yeah. Um, they need to get the help that they need in order to be a successful couple. I will always pray for the best of them. I've said from ever since, when I talks with a mop, I did a video about how excited I was watching the four of them all talk and communicate. And I'm like, I truly can see these guys being the one that's gonna have Kalaya in the middle. It says Kalaya, and then a picture of mommy, and then daddy, and then stepdaddy and stepmommy. Like those pictures are my favorite because as you guys know, I love co-parenting, and so the fact that toxic is still open to that And but I can also see her pushing back and being like, you're not going to keep dragging me in this to then the next day, I'm on live helping you guys out however I can. And then the next day you guys are all kissy huggy fine and you're just okay. Like, why are you letting him play with you like that? So I grasp what she's saying 100%. Agreed, Mackenzie, 100%. I have a hard time believing anyone has horrible anxiety, but they do corn. Can you explain that to me a little bit better? I'm curious on your analogy there. What would doing corn have to do with anxiety? I mean, I don't want details because sometimes you guys send me too many details. I love you guys, but sometimes you guys type out what you go over and see on the OF. I don't want to know what's happening on the friends only app. Okay? I don't want to know. I didn't ask. But you guys love to come over and tell me. But I'm genuinely curious, Flower Power, on what you mean by that. I don't believe Flyy has anxiety. He says he does. Mm, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious about that. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for us to say, right, what his anxiety stems from. I think he does get anxiety. I think his anxiety is definitely driven by what's happening here. He gets anxious if he's not getting enough gifts because it's not getting money. He's anxious if he's getting negative comments or if people are saying things about, you know what I'm saying? He gets anxious over those things. I can see it. Do I think that that's the only reason he has anxiety? No. Do I think that you can have anxiety and still be able to do those things? Yes. Right, Stephanie. Yeah, no one can say I've been diagnosed with anxiety disorder after my mom passed away. I had really, really bad anxiety. At times I still do have really, really bad anxiety. It's not as bad and again totally, totally different, but he is pushing anxiety by going. Yeah, that's definitely going to press it if he's not getting adequate sleep. He's not getting adequate my brain is like, bitch, what are you doing up? It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I have work in a couple hours. You guys are bad influences on me. 302 people are bad influences on me. What's wrong with y'all? That's okay. We'll keep going. Bye. Absolutely. Anxiety is different with everybody. Anxiety is very real. I never thought it was, you guys. I was like that too. I never thought it was. Um, thanks, Smokes. Um, and then I missed you guys too. I went to the doctor one day because I thought I had heart conditions. You guys, I've known the majority of my life that eventually I was going to have a heart condition. I just knew that because it was very strong in my dad's side of the family. Um, and I would be sound asleep and I would wake up grasping for air and my heart racing and pounding. And I went to the doctor. I thought for sure this is it. This is when I'm going to have, heart issues. They're like, no, your heart's fine. I'm like, oh, praise Jesus. But why do I keep waking up in the middle of the night? I'm like sweating, like, and my heart feels like it's like pounding out of my chest. And he's like, it's anxiety. I'm like, that's the dumbest diagnosis. Where'd you get your degree? He's like, well, Stanford, it's right there. He was so offended. I was kind of kidding, but it's like, no, it's anxiety. I'm like, I'm sleeping. What am I anxious about? He's like, it's just sometimes it's intrusive thoughts, whatever the case may be. Um, And so, no, Oshways, listen to me just telling all my business. It wasn't that for me because I went into full menopause at 27. So I'd already kind of gone through that by this time this happened. But I didn't want to take any medication for it. And then when my mom passed, I think that's the time when I experienced real anxiety. Like I could not keep my shit together. I would cry at the drop of a hat. Then 2 seconds later, I'd be laughing uncontrollably. My racing thoughts never stopped. That it kept me up for days and days and days. So I didn't have the heart palpitations like I did back then, but it was those intrusive racing thoughts. And they didn't even have to be intrusive. They'd just be racing thoughts. My mind never shut off. Well, good night, hubs. Sleep good. Just roll over to your side of the bed. You leave my Bethy Pooh alone. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you, girl. Um, so yeah, it was yeah. So I think we just have to be very cautious on telling people that look fine on the outside that they don't have something that is very, very real, you know. I know the narcissistic personality disorder gets thrown out a lot. Um, if that's my problem, I can't sleep a whole night. Very well could be to save my life, wake up crazy. Yeah, one thing that I started doing. Now, again, I went into menopause at 27 from surgically. Um, Let me say something before. I had a full hysterectomy. I don't need tomorrow T pages to come out and being like, oh, she had a gender change and now she's in med. I don't need any of that. I had a full hysterectomy at 27 people. That's why I was in menopause. Um, and your body stops producing melatonin, and so I forget all the time to take it. But I'm supposed to take melatonin. But it didn't work. I would sleep for a couple hours and I'd be wide awake. I'm one, if I get any amount of sleep, I go into a deep sleep. It could be 15 minutes. Something wakes me up, that's it. I'm up. My body's been like, you slept, you're good. But they have one now. It's an extended release. That works. That helps. That's what I had mine for. Stop it. Oh, I'm the same. I hate it. Yeah, and exhausted the days I get it. Yeah, I think right. I think they need to get the help that they need, um, individually, because it would be nice to have Flyy go and get the help that he needs. Um, Dang, all my people. Oh, Tresno, man. I don't like taking medication if I don't have to take medication. I'm realizing, these last few months my heart's been doing whatever my heart's been doing. I've had to take medication, but I tend to forget. I hate taking medication. It's so much damage is done between them. Yeah, it's going to take a lot for them to. They're going to have to come to a realization, say whatever's in it, this is our new us, right? But it's not going to happen until sobriety is there. Sobriety has to be there, both sides, right? And baby Alex has to be the focus. She's going to build up resentment if she's not getting any sleep and she's having to do 100% of everything for Alex. Imagine having a child who's medically complicated and you can't even feel comfortable leaving the baby with the dad because the dad doesn't even know. He only knew one of the 6 medications. I'm not leaving baby with that. No, no offense, not doing it. And so there's resentment's going to build up. You guys know my thing. I'm all about co-parenting. Um, and eventually she's going to be so tired because she's like, I have to do all of this by myself. You're on live all day. If you're not on live, you're on Snapchat. If you're not on Snapchat, I don't know what the other stream is that he does with a game or whatever. He goes from one streaming platform to another to another. When is time for Kayla and Alex? And then when they are out and they're doing stuff, he's like, "Oh, I'm on Snapchat. We're doing this," and Kayla's in the background like, like, what is happening? Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't have it either. Oh, absolutely. I think so too. I think you can have some resentment enough to where you can reverse it. There comes a time and a point to where you reach the fucking limit. And if I don't leave you now, I'm going to resent you so much to where I'm not going to be able to overcome that and successfully co-parent with you. Because every time I'm going to see you, I'm going to be like this mother. It's kind of like me and my ex-husband. We separated when Mijo was 5. He's 25. There's been no. He knows that I'm obviously very open and willing to co-parent. I co-parent with my kids that we've been separated 30 years. We're at every function, everything together. It's great. He chose he didn't want to, so he chose to leave. So that's on him. I don't even know if I'd know him if I saw him. His parents still come around. His parents are still at every event and function, love them. But yeah, so we're at a point where it just wouldn't work. There's too much resentment, you know. I stayed too long, too much resentment. Yeah, I've said, Kimmy, I've said that from the beginning, when I first did a video on them. And again, I think people, maybe it's not the way they took it. Maybe it's the way that I worded it, the way it came out. I think people were, no, no. People were thinking that I was speaking negatively on Toxic. They literally said, so you guys asked me to do Flying Toxics, a deep dive about Flying Toxic, and I did, and whew, Toxic has the perfect name because this entire situation is just that toxic. Jenny is the most toxic. So I think when, they just got to that and stopped. I never said Toxic was toxic. Jenny is. If you guys watch my first time ever going up on Fly's live, the first words I ever said to Fly was, "Your main issue right now is your mom." And he's like, "What? You came up for that?" He's like, "What?" And I said, "Your mom is the most toxic person in your life right now. You have your mom sitting around your daughter talking so negative." I couldn't even believe my ears. At first, I thought I was being punked. I was like, there's no way that this is this man's mother. I love the fact that she has a relationship with Toxic, but now I feel like that's even kind of strained in a way. But nonetheless, um, just talking so negatively about him. And for what? What are you gaining out of that? I can't imagine me ever talking negatively around my kids, and then, Toxic gets given Kalaya to Jenny for Jenny to have him see Fly, and then Fly's calling, and Jenny's like, no, 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 and then Toxic picks him up and says, we never heard from him. You know what I'm saying? So that was building a dynamic to where, Toxic is like, what the hell? You're supposed to, he's going with your mom to see him, and you're not calling. He's like, I've called, and so it's a lot. And I guess Toxic never had a place to send baby K to. Wait, what do you mean? Didn't she send her to Jenny's, right? I mean, I don't know if she sent her anywhere else. I really don't know. Isn't Fly really hasn't met, right? And how much time during Kalaya's life even? Because he seems to the two kids seems to be in different areas, and they need to be the same. The two kids should be the same. Now, I do grasp that during the time of the NICU, and even if baby Alex is sick, I definitely can see keeping them separate just for his health. Um, but your kid should always be loved equally. That should never be a that should never be a thing. I don't know. Did you see the message? Kayla exposed of what toxic? I didn't. I haven't. I'm sure it was sent to me. I will. I'm actually gonna hop off though because it's 1 o'clock here. I gotta get up in 6 hours. So Nunu, how are you, my love bug? Um, I wasn't gonna come live because today was just kind of a rough day and my allergies were kicking my ass. So I came home from work at 4 because my eyes were legitimately almost swollen closed because of them stupid cherry blossoms, just stupid cherry blossoms outside of my office. And it's there's usually like about a week period when they're first blossoming. That's when they seem to be the worst. And then again, I think when they fall, I don't know. But my eyes were legitimately almost swollen closed. I looked horrible because it was like the lining of my eyes that was like so. Anyways, I looked ridiculous. So I came home and I took some Benadryl. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay here. It's like 4 o'clock. I said, I'm just gonna lay here for like an hour and I'll get up and do my live. Well, I woke up at 9, and then that's when I sent the message. I'm like, my eyes are still so swollen. I'm not coming on looking like this. And then I put some Benadryl drops on my eyes, and I've been asleep for 5 hours, so I said I'll go for a little bit. I missed you guys. In cases like this, what a social worker associate with relationship. It's hard to say. Again, I don't because I don't work in Florida. I don't know the rules out there. Um, and not every worker is on the up. No, I'm not saying that they have a worker. I'm not saying they have a case. I don't know, and I'm not saying that if they do have a worker, their worker is not on the up and up. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I've known situations to where the social worker walks up to a big, beautiful house and all these cars and blah blah blah, and it's like your case could be closed. There's 5K. Case is closed. You know what I'm saying? You guys picking up what I'm putting in between the lines. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm saying like with the whole Norella and what's her name? Norelli? Norelli? Laura? You guys know who I'm talking about. I 100% believe there. Allegedly, supposedly, my opinions, whatever. That's happening there. Norali, and Young Low. I cannot see any social worker in their right frame of mind showing up at that house and thinking anything that is happening over there is acceptable and or okay to those kids. Um, skit or no skit, absolutely not. Those kids 100% are being damaged, and so much childhood trauma is being placed on those kids. Those kids look so behind in their um, steps that they need to take. I can't see how CPS is walking into that house. I mean, like, all's well here. What older lady? Are you talking about me? Am I the older lady, Mackenzie? Listen, just because you had to come up and tell me how this whole tickety tockety little gifty thing here that we have going on. Oh, wait, what does this mean? Speaking of, oh, we went down in plackers. I see. 1.8 more diamonds needed to make top 20. Oh, and get a fragment. I mean, wonder what these fragments are. I'm like, am I the older lady? And as soon as you said that, because you always explain it to me, the popular live and then the C4 top 20% thing came up. So I looked. It's like, not yet, lady. You need 1.2, not million, 1.2K more. Hold on. 139,000. My tushies. No, no. Nunu wannabe. Thank you, Nunu. Is that group? Oh, wait, is what the group home Emily Pike disappeared from? I have a question before I leave. Do you know if Margot and 2K are cooler friends? Margot and 2K, I don't think they've ever been cooler friends. I think they may have spoke on there. But again, you guys, I don't know. I think a lot of people think that I know all these people and I speak to them. Um, I don't. I just go based off of my decision at Norway's place you just talked about. Wait, what did you say before that? Mocha. Mocha? Oh, I don't know. I have not even watched them. I can't stand to watch them. They grate my nerves, I tell you. I cannot stand to watch those individuals. It is so disgusting. And then when I see her in the hospital, supposedly worried about this new pregnancy, um, I'm so tired now. About this pregnancy, they're trying to get, the information done so they can test the baby, but she's on live and she's mad they won't let her on live. Young Lo's over there screaming at her and telling her to do the whole thing. To me is disgusting. Not me. Norali is pregnant with her 18 millionth kid. And that doctor needs to be sued. That doctor that keeps implanting baby in her, right, one right after another, after another needs to be sued. Absolutely. She has so many health issues with this pregnancy, or either that she doesn't and she's just going in and start anyways. The whole situation is terrible. So in that situation, I 100% fully believe that if CPS has been called, they had a rotten apple. You know what? I haven't had a chance to watch all of Vale's aunt's videos. I will say I have had a, hold on. I've, oh, you guys get me late to where I'm not as sharp as my, what the hell's wrong with TikTok? Great job, you've gone live. Get your ass off. This must be a new thing, the 90-minute mark. They're like, all right, you've done good. Take a break. Um, anyways, I wanted to see this one. Okay, we'll be able to get that. We lost our fragment last week, but we'll get it this week. We'll get it back. Um, oh, Valley's aunt. Okay. I I believe what Auntie is saying. 90-minute mark has been. No, go away. I believe the aunt. I've had an opportunity to speak with her, and um, the story's never changed. She's spot on. I believe exactly what the aunt is saying. Now I haven't even seen what she's put up. I watched a few minutes of the video, and that's it. But she's on it, so I believe her. Yes. All right, love bugs. Well, I'm going to go back to sleep for my few hours of sleep that I have before I go back to work tomorrow. But not the best. Oh, I agree. Yeah, definitely not the best. Right, putting blame on a 7-year-old instead of. Oh, I didn't hear that. Remember, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going based off of the conversations I have had. What I have had, I believe her. So I will watch them before I come live tomorrow. I will watch them and give a better idea. Yeah, because I don't agree with that. You know, there's just a lot. It's a whole lot. So, all right, guys, I'm glad that I got to come on and see you. Love you so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.